97 to be precise. Then, that's all for these short presentations. I don't see any questions. Do you have questions after that? Or you would like to see the wiki, what we use? Questions?
The advice platform is used also for the reporting, or the reporting data you share?
No, EDIC is just to have information. It's just like a wiki. We don't get information. We could put typical answer there. Yeah.
So we call EDIC our internal knowledge database. So basically everybody has the responsibility to add content and to keep updating the content that we get. You cannot just take a model reply from there, paste it into Casper and then send it off to the citizen. You have to check it, you have to make sure the links work, you have to make sure the information is up to date. So what we add in there are, first of all, model replies, answers to questions that we get quite often, like business funding or education funding or visa questions. Those are questions that we get often, so we have model replies for them. In addition, we have hot topics every once in a while. Take animal testing for cosmetics, or the big horse meat scandal just now. And after consulting the back office on how to proceed with those questions, we get a line to take, we come up with a model reply, we add that to EDIC so that people can use it without checking with the back office every single time we get that question. So it's that kind of knowledge that we have in there, in addition to procedures and other small standard things that we use, like the footers. So
we can show maybe.
yeah.
You know better than I. Then
Okay.
what I have to show?
If you go to EDCC.
EDCC. Yes.
We often get questions like, what are my rights as an EU citizen? In order to tackle that kind of question, we have come up with a model reply which basically summarizes briefly what your rights as an EU citizen are, and first of all, what is EU citizenship. There are people who say, well, I want to become an EU citizen, how do I do that? Well, that part is not managed in our core reply, it is actually managed in that additional paragraph that you have there. Conditions for acquisition of national citizenship. So what we basically explain to them, well, you cannot be an EU citizen unless you're a citizen of a member state. So you have to check with the national authorities of the respective member state what the conditions for the acquisitions and the responsibilities related to citizenship are. So we try to combine a core reply with additional paragraphs depending on the questions of the citizens. We also have a ready-made summary, as you can see. So if you use the model reply, you might as well use that ready-made summary because it saves you time. And of course, you have to remember to adapt it if you adapt the reply.
And you have additional languages if necessary. Then when we have to reply, we don't translate everything, we translate just when it's necessary. Then already for this kind of questions, we reply in Czech, in German, in Spanish, French, and Slovak. And for the other language, when we need to translate, we will translate and we will add the translations to the wiki. But we do to be more efficient as possible. Then we don't translate everything because sometimes for some topics it's very interesting for some country but not for the others. Then we adapt also our wiki and we put only useful information to help our communication officer, information officer to reply. Of course, here we have scrolling to the right page, but of course you can search and you can have some results there. If someone has a criteria of search, I can try something.
Delay.
Delay, for example. All the data there are the property of DigiCom. Then, if an access is needed, it's not. You don't have to send an email to me, but you have to contact DigiCom. I have no right to say yes, you can have access, or no, you cannot have access. I don't have the power to do that.
But EDIC keeps saying that there are some problems, that it's problematic. Do you know why? What is the issue? Why the Europe Direct information centers cannot have access to this?
To DigiCom to explain. I will say on a
from your point, from
From my point, from technical point of view, I have no problem to give access to anybody to this tool.
You want to answer? You mentioned something like we decide then what is the line to take in order to answer the citizen.
Yeah.
My question is, how do you decide what is the line to take? Because in the meantime, you receive some questions. It is very possible that some questions are received by us as well. So basically, my question is, where should we look for information in order that our line to take might be the same as yours, not to create some, I don't know, discrepancies between what the answers are given by you and what the answers are given by us?
I presume you're referring to hot topics in general.
Not necessarily.
Well,
just one topic. You can choose one if you feel.
No, I'm going to go for typology. So if it's something quite standard, that is not controversial, that has not gotten huge media coverage lately. So just a basic question, does my third country wife need a visa to accompany me on a travel within the European Union, with whatever specifics that comes with? There's no line to take there, because what we do is to provide factual information. So we will use the Europa portal, search for the relevant piece of legislation, the relevant contact point, and that's what we do. We just say, your wife has certain rights because you have certain rights as an EU citizen. You have to contact a consulate if you need a visa. You might not need a visa, so depending on the situation. But what we will do, we will refer to the legislation and we will refer to the appropriate contact point, whether it's a DG who can give further clarifications on the legislation, or whether it's a consulate who can issue a visa. That's where we stop. So it's factual information for the kind of factual inquiry. If it's something like the horse meat scandal that hit us recently, and I imagine everybody has gotten questions about it at one point or another. No, not yet. I thought it was about this. So I'm going to finish and then you can go. Because we can identify it straight away as a hot topic. First of all, because it's on the first page of newspapers everywhere. Second of all, because we might get a number of inquiries, so not just one about this. So once we get 2, 3, 15, 10, 20, then we know, well, this is not for us to answer straight away, because some of them will not be factual questions. They will not ask, well, is there horse meat in every single lasagna that you sell in Europe? They're going to ask, oh, why isn't the EU doing more? In that case, we will just leave the cases waiting for a while we consult with the back office. So that final call on the line to take is not ours. That's why we have a back office in EDIC or in the various other DGs. And once they give their approval on the way to proceed, we just go ahead and answer the citizens based on their guidelines. So that line to take decision is not always ours. Of course, the reply that we get from DG Com or any other DG will still be based on the official position of the Commission, on the information that's available on Europa, and that's it, because our only source of information is the Europa portal. We don't really refer to sources outside of Europa, even if we could find them or not. I mean, we stick to Europa because that's our main source of information.
Europa portal is your only source of information?
The Europa portal is huge. I mean, you struggle hard enough, you're going to find a question, an answer to pretty much everything.
I know, but do you research, for example, from books or from scientific articles,
No,
newspapers?
I can give you a hierarchy of what we use for research. First of all, your common sense. Have you ever heard about it? Yes. Then you go to EDIC. If it's in EDIC, it's already spared you the time you will need to search on Europa. If it's not in EDIC, you go to Europa. If it's not in Europa, you go to Google. If Google doesn't know about it, ask your team about it. That's how it works. But usually, if Google doesn't know about it, it doesn't exist. So we don't use books unless it's some, I don't know, brochure or documentation that was still published by the European Commission or other EU institutions. But trust me, Europa is our best friend.
We receive many questions from the students, and they need more detailed information, more complex, more. I give you an example about the economy of Germany in comparison with the economy of France, for example, but not just facts and sheets from Eurostat or from. They need more.
They need to do their homework. We don't do their homework.
Or for their license. Can you give us an advice? where can we
maybe
find
for
a
us
source?
It's a little bit easier because we have a scope. We can only provide factual information about the European institutions. A comparison between the economy of Germany and France falls patently outside of that scope. So we're going to try to be nice. Exactly. We're going to refer them to Eurostat. We're going to refer them to the information on economical figure that's available on DG ECFIN, you know, so whatever they do. And we're going to tell them, well, you know, you do have documentation centers, maybe one in your university, you can check with them, but that is where our kind advice stops. We cannot do their homework for them. We also get requests like this. Well, my teacher assigned me this topic for an essay. Well, good luck with it. It all has to stop somewhere. I mean, we have a scope, we stick to it.
Okay.
Yes.
Hello, thank you for having us again, because the representations have visited the space again. Last time we were here, you gave us some statistics, how many phone calls per country, what are the hot questions at the moment.
I have uploaded the annual report for the last year.
Yeah.
I know the kind of question. I have it.
What about the topics that are very, you know...
Then we do quite a lot of reports. Some are online, some are not online. This one is the report. You see, we have quite a lot of inquiries by country, by language, by economic category. Then
This is the report that you give to EDIC Romania.
yes, if you want it, ask to them. They have also the property of that. Then, well, the contract is quite rude for us. Then, to be honest, then that's life. It's easy also for me to just refer to Digicom.
I just want to say to the ethics that you can find this, exactly this, in the intranet. It's not something secret. You have all the data already.
Yeah. I don't have access to the intranet.
We
I don't know.
have. Let us have something.
Sometimes you are lucky. Then, inquiry by subject by month, page 16. We'll try to do a little bit more. And it's more or less the subjects with all classifications. And that could be more detailed. That's the main subject. And you have subtopics for each subject. But for the report, we put just the main. And the main, it's EU general, EU institutions and member states. After that, you have employment and social affairs. After that, justice, and the fourth one is air passenger rights. Just the air passenger rights. It's a quite big subject for the citizen. And you can see by month the number of inquiries. It's possible also by using our reporting tool to have a more detailed report, but that's the general report we provide. There are also other subjects, research inquiry service, because we have a collaboration with this one, external relations, customs taxations, energy and transport. Then you can see all the number. We give also these informations, the number of inquiries by language, the number of inquiries by country, every month and so on. If you are interested by other data, cross-border issues, by example. Yeah, by example, you have the traveling as passenger right, visa and border control, right passenger right for the traveling, for the living. It's very interesting because we receive quite a lot of questions about that. Welfare, social security, rights at work. It's classical questions, as you can see. Free movement of persons, immigration, justice. Buying and selling, studying and working. And you can see the different classifications. Free movement of worker, it's also a big subject. That's for the cross-border issue. Then for some also particular things, we do a specific report and graph. Hot topic by country. By example, economic crisis and related budgetary issues. The German, the Spain, the Greece are the top three. Quite logical, I would say. Political situation in Romania. Yeah, that was last year. I think last summer that was a big hot topic for Romania. Well, it's mainly the inquiries coming from Romania, especially with Reading doing some statements. Nobel Peace Prize, that was at the end of the year. German one has quite a lot. And so on. And you can see we classify also hot topic and so on. But economic crisis, that was the main one.